Good evening, everyone. In the previous session of consumer behavior, I explained about a case study, and that was the last topic of Unit 2. In this session, I am going to start the Unit 3 of consumer behavior. And the first topic which I am going to explain is consumer perception and sensory dynamics of perception. But before beginning with the session or before starting the session, let me just give you all a brief idea about all the topics that you have in Unit 3 and that you are going to study in this unit. Okay. So the first topic, as you all can see on the screen, is consumer perception. So in this topic, first of all, I am going to explain what is perception, how the perception influences the buying behavior of a consumer, and how does a companies uses consumer perception or it tries to influence the perception of the consumers in order to sell their products. So there are various other elements in this topic also, different stages of consumer perception and various other things which I'm going to explain in this topic. The next one is motive. So in this topic, first of all, motive actually means the basic reason behind purchase of any kind of product. Means why we purchase a product, the basic buying motive. So in this topic, I am going to explain what is buying motive, what are the various factors which influence buying motive, and how companies tries to influence the consumers by uh, uh, or by targeting the buying motive of the consumers. The next one is attitude. So in this topic, I am going to explain what is attitude, how attitude is formed, and whether attitude can be changed or not. And if attitude can be changed, how it can be changed. So these are the things which I am going to explain in the topic called attitude. And the third one is hearing. So hearing also plays a very important role in making decision regarding any kind of purchase. Means whenever we hear something bad about any product, we try to avoid those products which does we means those products for which we do not hear some any kind or hear any kind of positive review or something. So hearing also plays a very important role. How companies uses this element for convincing the consumers. So these are the things which I am going to explain in this topic. The last topic is other individual determinants, all the other individual determinants which are part of consumer behavior, which helps or which influences which are part of consumer perception and which help to influence the consumer perception. So these are the main topics of Unit 3 that you all are going to study. Okay, so let's begin with the session. So first of all, consumer perception. Now, many companies try to send messages to the consumers in various forms, explaining about their product, showing the positive side of the product, showing the consumers or showing the viewers that how their products offer better quality, whether it is value for money or not, what kind of features and specifications they have which other companies or other products do not have. So they focus on creating an awareness about the product, spreading the word about the product, so that the consumer will be familiar with the product, with the name of the product, the features, and various aspects of the product. So, with different types of advertisement, they try to create a connection between the consumer and the product. So, advertisements play a very important role in this creation of connection. Nowadays, every company tries to have an emotional connection with the product and the consumers. For example, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is representing its brand as if they are consumed during the time any kind of festive season or during any celebration, whether it is winning of a cricket match or Diwali or Dashera or any kind of other festival, Christmas or anything. So, for those reasons, advertisements are used so that they can create an emotional connection. So, each and every company, each and every brand represent their brand in a different way. Whether they're attached to celebration, whether they're attached to, like I said, happiness. So, these are the ways through which a company advertise their product and they play an emotional and psychological appeal to the consumers, that emotionally they want to create a connection, so that the people will be emotional and then purchase a product. So there are, for example, Amul, the tagline has the taste of India. So people will feel that this is an Indian brand. It's been in India since many years. So when we are purchasing the product of Amul, then we are contributing towards the growth of the company, ultimately contributing towards the growth of the country. So that feeling may be there, and that is also represented in the advertisement. Like any kind of product of Amul, they attach it with mother's love. So these are the various types of advertisement which companies use to influence the consumers. But in reality, people have different preferences of brands and their messages. If people are loyal to the brands, they will accept different types of advertisement given by those brands. But if people do not like some kinds of brand, they will simply reject the idea of any product. Any advertisement or any kind of appeal. So, like I said, if the same advertisement is shown to different people, they might have different reactions. They will not take the advertisement in the same manner and the same sense, because as people we have different we have different mindset, we have different point of view, and we have different perception. So the different perceptions are framed because the mind works on its own, and people form independent impression. Because there is one element, there is one advertisement, but people will understand it in a different way, based on their own perception, based on how they accept things, what are the things they are favorable or they are familiar with. So that is a complete different way. I'll give an example. Nowadays, during the festive season, offline and online, you will find huge discounts on all the products, whether it is electronic gadgets, home appliances, or even any kind of apparel. You will find different and huge discounts, 10%, 20%, 30%. So how people will take those advertisements? Some people will wait throughout the year for these number of days so that they can make purchases. They can purchase expensive and quality products at a lower rate. So some people take it positively. Some people think that these are the stock things which cannot be sold by the company, and they are selling through discount. These are not good products. They have some kind of problem. This may be perception of some people. Some people may think that there must be some kind of hidden terms and conditions. Why would a company give so huge discount, 40% and 50%? So different people will understand the advertisement, interpret the advertisement or discount in the manner according to their knowledge, according to their mindset. Clear? So this is called consumer perception. But generally, what is perception? In general term, perception is an intellectual process of transforming sensory stimuli to meaningful information. Stimuli are different types of inputs which we come across. For example, when you're going on a road, when you're driving on a road, you see billboards, you see discounts, you see different types of shops. But we do not accept all the stimuli. We accept stimuli based on our preferences, based on how the stimuli is represented, and there are various other elements also. We collect all those stimuli and then we convert it into a meaningful information which we can understand properly, which we can interpret properly, and then we can react to it. So that is the process of perception. So it is simply the process of interpreting something that we hear or see, and then later we make a judgment or give an opinion about a situation or a person or a group or a product or a brand. So that is the entire process of perception. We not only select, arrange, and interpret something, but we also create an opinion based on our interpretation of any advertisement or any stimuli. Okay, whether it is a situation, whether it is a person, whether it is a group, or whether it is a product. So that is the way perception works. So like I said, for example, two people are working on a street. One is a kid and one is a young man. So the kid will be attracted towards candy stores, toys, something which is very colorful, which has lots of lights and all that. But a young man won't be attracted to those kind of stimuli. The young man will keep on rejecting those stimuli which are not related to his personality, which are not relevant to him, which are not required by him. So he will accept all those things depending upon his personality, depending upon his or her his requirement and other things. For example, if there is a 50% discount on men's apparel, the person may be attracted towards it. The person may try to accept the stimuli, arrange it, and then interpret it. But a discount on a candy store may not get the attention of a young man, but it will definitely get the attention of a kid. So we accept stimuli based on our requirement, based on our interest, based on our personality, and there are various elements which there are various elements in which our mind works, and it accepts and rejects inputs based on our requirements and perception, or we can say our personality. So perception is defined as the process by which an individual selects, organizes, and interprets stimuli into a meaningful and coherent picture of the world. So whatever interpretation we make after selecting the stimuli, organizing the stimuli, it must have a meaningful picture. It must have some kind of meaning, and it must be logical also. Logical, reasonable, and relevant and rational. That is the way we want to see the world. That is the way we understand the world in a logical, rational manner. So this is the process in which an individual processes any kind of input and converts it into a meaningful information, and then creates an opinion or gives a judgment about those interpretation that we have made in our minds. So this is the entire process of perception. Now let me just explain you all the relation between perception and marketing, how marketing uses perception of consumers in selling their products and convincing the consumers to purchase their products. So when different people are exposed to same advertisement, exact same advertisement in the same condition. For example, you're watching your favorite TV show, and in between you see an advertisement. The condition is same, you're at home, you're enjoying a TV serial, and in between the TV serial you saw an advertisement. But it does not mean that each and every person watching the same advertisement under the same condition will respond in the same manner. They will respond in a different way. The response of each and every human being may be different also, completely different. And this difference in response is because that each person recognizes, selects, organizes, and then interprets the information in a very personal manner. Like I said, each and every human being's personality is different. In the last unit, I explained about personality. So every person's personality is different. Their family background is different. Their culture is different. The people with whom they are related, they have good relation with, they may be also different. So our thinking process, our mindset, our opinion will definitely be different. Our requirement will be different. Our preferences will be different. Our priority will be different. So in that way, we recognize, select, and organize, and then interpret all the inputs that we have, and then we convert it into meaningful information. The way we understand, the way we like to understand a particular or interpret a particular data. So that's why reaction of each and every person on the same advertisement under the same situation will definitely be different. I'll just give a simple example. The difference between 100 rupees and 99 rupees is just 1 rupee. But still, some people may feel that 100 rupees, a product worth rupees 100 is expensive, but the same product worth rupees 99 is less expensive, it is cheap, it is reasonable, and they will feel that they have purchased a product at a cheaper rate, they have done a good bargain on the product. So the difference is not very huge, but the way it is represented and how the people understand the difference. So that is called perception. Clear? Some people are very much loyal to a product. They do not switch brands. They do not, loyal to the brands, and they do not switch brands. They have complete faith on a brand. For example, in India, most of the families use products manufactured by Amul, and we trust the brand because it's been in India since many years. It is an Indian brand. It is made in India, and it also helps many farmers, many dairy farmers. And we feel that when we are consuming the product of that brand, we are helping Indian people. We are helping our country. We are contributing towards the growth of growth of the Indian business, growth of the company, so or the country. So that is our normal perception. So they stick to certain brands no matter what kind of advertisement given by other companies. They do not get easily influenced. That is one way of perception. So this depends upon how we understand things, how we interpret, and how we create an opinion about a particular product. So that is the way how marketers relate perception with their product, how they try to influence the perception of the consumer so that their products can be sold, they can convince the consumers to purchase their product. Okay. So this is about perception, consumer perception, and how marketing and perception are related. The next topic which I'm going to explain is sensory dynamics of perception. So as I have already said that people may react to the same kind of advertisement in a different way. Means every person's reaction to the same advertisement may be different, may be completely different. So that happens because of perception. So in this topic, I am going to explain the sensory dynamics. There are four elements in this: sensation, the absolute threshold, the differential threshold, and subliminal perception. So these are the four elements. The first one is sensation. So sensation here means that it is an immediate and direct response of a sensory organ. Like for example, whether when you touch something you feel, when you see something you try to understand what are you seeing, when you're hearing something you're trying to understand what you're actually hearing, what are the words, whether it is a music or it is a simple noise. So that is sensation. Now stimuli, sensory stimuli are basically the inputs may be a billboard, maybe an advertisement, maybe a simple tune. Anything can be input. And our sensory organs come into action when we come across those inputs, like our eyes, ear, skin, nose, and our mouth. So they have different activities to do. We hear, we see, we smell, we taste, and we feel. So when we come across a stimuli or an input, any one of our sensory organ or combination of different sensory organ uh, act in the same time. For example, when we are purchasing any kind of dress material or apparel, we at the same time we see the product and we try to touch and feel the product. How does it feel? What is the quality of the material? So two of our sensory organs are working at the same time to create an opinion about the product that we are seeing as well as that we are touching and feeling. So that is called sensation. So with that help, with our help of our sensory organ, we understand about, we make a opinion about a stimuli. Either we accept it or we reject it based on the feedback given to us by our sensory organs. And these sensory organs may work in a different manner. For example, some people have good eyesight, some people don't have. Some people have great sense of smelling and some other don't. So these are the different types, or we can say different sensory organs works in a different extent depending upon the people, depending upon the organ. Okay. And sometimes even if the stimuli is too strong, because of the background we don't even notice those kind of stimuli. and we don't give too much of importance to those stimuli. For example, when you are in a traffic, it is obvious that you will hear a lot of honking horns. People will make noises and all that. There is heavy traffic. There is noises of people around in the area. So definitely you will not pay any attention to the horns that you are hearing. It's very logical. It's very simple. Because it is obvious that when you're on a road, you will hear such kind of noises. That's why you do not pay attention. And you sometimes people don't even notice when they hear such kind of things. So that is called sensation. When we come across a stimuli, our sensory organs come into action. They try to understand whether by seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, or tasting. Taste is also one of the sensory organ, tongue is also one of the sensory organ. And we try to understand this with our sensory organ, and then we create a feedback. And that is called sensation. The next point is absolute threshold, and it actually means the lowest level at which a person or a human being can feel a sensation. That is called absolute threshold. It is the lowest level at which a person experiences a threshold. Means like a difference between something and nothing. I'll give an example. For example, you're on a long drive, two people are on the long drive, and there are many billboards in the road. So you may notice one, but when you come across in 1 hour drive, when you come across 10 to 20 or 40 billboards, it is obvious that none of the billboards will actually make any kind of impression on you because you give minimum attention to those billboards. That is called absolute threshold. Means that is the lowest level of means understanding or accepting any kind of stimuli or experiencing sensation. The lowest level at which a sensation is experienced is called absolute threshold, because maybe the billboards are repeated, maybe you are not paying attention because one by one it is coming suddenly, and it does not have that kind of relevance. For example, like I said, two people are driving, two people may look at the billboard at completely different time also. It does not mean that two people will look at the billboard at the same time, understand the element represented in the billboard, and then they will transform into a meaningful information. So that may not be possible. So the simple meaning of absolute threshold is the minimum level, or we can say the lowest level at which a person experiences or any kind of sensation. Like I said, when you come across 40 to 50 billboard while driving, none of the billboards will actually make any kind of impression on you. That is the lowest level of uh, attention that you are paying to any kind of input or any kind of stimuli. Okay, so that is called absolute threshold. The next point is the differential threshold. It means that the minimum difference that can be noticed between two different stimuli is called the differential threshold. Means in order to get noticed, if there are two similar kinds of stimuli, in order to get noticed, the second stimuli needs to be more attractive in comparison to the first one. For example, a pack of juice is around rupees 150, and when the company increases the price to 152, only 2 rupees, this is the second stimuli. The first one is 150, second one is 152. They are almost similar stimuli, and these stimuli won't have any kind of influence over the consumer, because 2 rupees difference is not that huge. So that is a differential threshold. Means it is the minimum difference that you can notice between two similar stimuli. But what if they have raised the price to rupees 155? So 150 and 155, these are not that similar. We try to find out the difference, and we find that the difference is huge. 5 rupees is too much to pay. Extra 5 rupees is too much to pay for a pack of juice. So that 5 rupees has more attention, or we say that the difference between the stimuli is huge. So that's why it does not come under the minimum uh, difference in the similar stimuli. But when the difference is minimum, we do not pay much attention towards those kind of similar stimuli. So it is said that when first stimuli is very stronger, the second stimuli needs to be more stronger than the first one, so that as a human being we can identify the difference. That's why companies do not increase the price at a very high rate, because it will be the difference can be easily understood by the consumers. Like I said, 2 rupees difference is not that huge, people will not notice it. But 5, 6 or 10 rupees, it seems to be a huge difference in the price of the product, and people will definitely notice it, and it won't be a differential threshold. So companies try to get this differential threshold, so that there will be a minimum difference between two kind of similar stimuli, and people will definitely not try to notice these kind of differences. The last one is subliminal perception. We can say that there are many stimuli which are not at all strong, and for that reason they are not means we are not paying attention consciously. So unconsciously we may pay attention, and that attention is not that kind of high, means those stimuli fail to create any kind of impression on any human being. So there are many stimuli that we come across unconsciously, and we are not even aware of it, that we have seen something but we haven't paid attention to it. So unconsciously we have accepted a lot of stimuli, and we are not even aware of it, because those stimuli are too weak to be noticed, or they are too brief, so it does not get our conscious attention. And these types of stimuli are called subliminal perception, because it is beneath our threshold, means beneath the absolute threshold also. So that's why they do not get our conscious attention. So this is the way how we select, or this is the different types of this is the different manners through which we either accept a stimuli or reject a stimuli. Okay, so like I said, subliminal perception means the stimuli are too weak to be to get attention of a consumer, of a person. So we unconsciously take or accept too many stimuli, but we are not aware of it, and we do not pay proper attention to it, and we uh, it does not create a good impression on us. It fails to create a good impression on us because they are too weak and too brief. The proper timing is not there. It must we must come across such kind of stimuli for a particular time, so that we can understand the stimuli, we can accept the stimuli, we can interpret it. So if a stimuli is in front of us for a very brief time, definitely it won't be noticed by our conscious mind. It will be noticed by our unconscious mind, and definitely we won't pay much attention to it. So that is called, this process is called subliminal perception. So these are the sensory dynamics of perception. Okay. So in the next session, I am going to explain the different stages of perception. Okay. So that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.